Ever? Is it going to happen? Yes, it's happening. 'Twas brawling in the slithy toves did yearn the gimble way, while mimsy were the butter groves and the mome raths outgrave. Beware the jabberwock, my son, the claws that bite, the jaws that catch. Beware the jub bird and shun the firmest bandersnatch.
She sent us to the naughty corner. I just made a joke. She sent us to the naughty corner. Wasn't even woke.
Go to the naughty corner right. Where's my shoe? Go to the naughty corner right now.
Party in the naughty corner. It's the place to be. Party in the naughty corner. She threw away the key. Party in the naughty corner. We can never leave.
Laughing at me at the same time. What are you two laughing at? Because both of you can go to the naughty corner right now. There's room for both of you now.
Again to the naughty corner. I just called Will's name. Again to the naughty corner. I am not to blame.
Larry, go to the naughty.
Go to the naughty corner. I'm a rock screamed at me. Go to the naughty corner. Carrie laughed at me. Party in the naughty corner. It's the place to be. Party in the naughty corner. She threw away the key. Party in the naughty corner.
Go to the naughty corner right now. Right now.
Go to the naughty corner right now. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in.
Good job. You did good.
Okay, pat on the back.
All right, I'll pat you on the head. Say good girl.
Yeah.
I can't make my phone mute though, and it's driving me crazy. I don't like it. Okay, I'll press buttons now. You like buttons? I like buttons. What's up?
What's up? How you doing?
You doing? Let's see. I brought you a little thingy thing I'd like you to see. Let's see where it's at. It's up here. It's in this place. We got this. Dumb blonde jokes don't bother me because I know I'm not dumb. I also know I'm really not blonde. Really a blonde.
I
Close
really
enough.
am blonde. Like,
Really?
really.
I couldn't tell.
Really? I know
thought
you
you
couldn't
were
tell.
glow.
No.
So you wasn't born with them fruit locks?
No. I was a blondie. Been blonde.
So what's up, Rashi?
Going through all the shades of blonde.
All the shades of gray? Wait, hold on. Why am I rap? Strange.
I don't know.
Let's see who we got in here. What is up? Matthew Anderson gets the gold. That is Mr. Anderson. We got Scotty Waddles with the silver, and the Rage of Tomato gets the bronze. Blonde? That's another blonde.
Blondes?
Blondes. I like blondes. I don't have a problem with them, especially when they're really dumb. Is there more than one of you cockswatches running around? Not to my knowledge. I am just everywhere. See,
That was totally.
Wasn't that terrible? You could cringe if you like.
It was super funny, but
we got Izzy, baby. What is up, honey? We got Queen Kaylin in here. Welcome in. Good to see you. P. Fletcher, P. Fletch 38. 83. God damn, I'm fucking dyslexic. What in the hell is going on here?
Look, we got U-Haul up in the house. Welcome in.
Yeah,
We got
right.
Oklahoma.
Welcome in, bud. Good to see you.
Giddy,
did I see
and
a-
Cap. Welcome in. And then I can't.
Giggity.
Rashu. How do you say it?
Shoot, you got it. You did good.
Okay. Woohoo! Welcome in.
There he is. I missed Rashu.
Yep.
My bad. We got Edwina Hewitt. Good to see you.
Beautiful ladies in the house. Rumsky, good to see you.
Yep.
Oh, another lady.
Yep.
Oh, a couple more ladies. Sorry.
Okay.
Ladies
we'll
all
get
in the house.
American 101 is next.
No, smoking and G sharp.
ANCAP gamer, smoking Jeep Sark. Yep. Love it. Love to see. Yep.
You got Miss Angie.
Got Crispy Treat and Miss Angie. Good to see both of y'all.
Hello, Desert Goat.
Am I going to be able to catch up with this chat? We're already hitting 20 people in here. Usually it takes a minute. Did I use hashtags on this one? I bet I did. Yes, I was drunk as hell when I scheduled this. I hope this works. Yeah, I was on Flow States last night, and he hadn't done a stream in about a week, 9 days.
Yeah, I watched. I watched.
And so I popped in and was over there and was like, around 11:30, I'll start drinking till I'm done. Luckily, I only had a half pint, so it didn't go too deep. But after that half pint, I did schedule this whole show. So we will see how it works out, ladies and gentlemen. We will see how it works
Crispy Treats. Yeah.
Yeet.
We got Flow State gangs in the house, huh? That's where I know all y'all from. Flow State or base.
Yeah, you be hiding over there. You don't even acknowledge the presence in places. No, you're just you're just there. I'm
like a ninja. Yes. I gotta soak it up, absorb everything.
Like a ninja. You're a ninja. Just because you wear a mask don't make you a ninja. Just because you in all black don't make you a ninja. Right. It just means you have terrible taste in clothing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have curated a rather ridiculous group of videos over here. The first one is from Audit the Audit, correct?
Yep.
Yes. Audit the Audit. So this dude owns this property, right? He is at home on his own property when the cops show up.
Sorry. Participation award, you all.
Oh, I was only slightly lit last night. You have seen me tanked. I have been tanked in the presence of Tomato. That is true. Tomato, is true.
If you ever need a clip of him lit, girl, I got you.
No, she's got a clip of me completely snoggered, son. I'm talking like 3 deep, 6 sheets to the wind. Like it's on like Donkey Kong type. I was ready to scrap. Like, see, she was there the one time I opened the second bottle of rum, and she knows why I don't open the second bottle of rum. So when I have rum, those are $5 shots. Those clips are plentiful. Okay. Soaking up content like a ninja. It's like that, but she's no ninja. No way. What's up, Snark? That's good to see you. No way. I imagine you'd be the one that steps on the Legos in the hallway.
Oh, dang. I would, because I got little ones. That would be me.
That's right. So you'd be like, ow. You'd be the loudest ninja ever.
They're at that. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Well, here's one for you. I can't remember the name of the town, but there is a town in America that has a ninja parade every year. And the reason they have the ninja parade is because they went bankrupt in the mid 80s and they couldn't afford to put on the yearly parade. And so someone came up with the idea of just not having one and just doing the festival. And so the first year it went off as just a festival. And the second year they said, well, we kind of need a parade. And so they had one, but they didn't actually have one. They just advertised for the ninja parade and it went big. And it pretty much saved that town. It's an amazing story. I got to go find it, and we'll have to go over it in a couple weeks. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that stuff in a minute, but it's a cool story. It's really neat. But here's Audit the Audit, folks, and he's going to explain it all to you just the way it happened.
No sound.
Sound? Are you serious? You're joking.
No, I'm not. I know his intro. That's how come I know there's no sound.
How is there no sound? What did I do? What have I done?
Do you have it muted? No.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort of.
Wait, you're telling me that it wiped the music, but it let the voice through? Oh, that's neat. That's really neat when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers the Fourth Amendment, use of force, and officer jurisdiction, and is brought to us by Guerrilla Publishing's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. On March 9th, 2024, Sergeant Joe Beers of the Oilton Police Department in Oilton, Oklahoma, received a call regarding 3 individuals who were soliciting solar panels within city limits in violation of Section 4-4-15 of the Oilton Code of Ordinances. After Sergeant Beers found one of the solicitors within city limits, she advised that the other 2 individuals were driving around and provided Sergeant Beers with a description of the vehicle. A short time later, Sergeant Beers found the vehicle parked in the driveway of 76-year-old disabled Vietnam veteran Willard Walbridge's home, which is located just outside of Oilton.
Welcome in,
we're gonna
Freeside.
take a second. Freeside, what is up, my brother? So, this location we have. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can actually see the little fucking thing. Probably not. Anyway, there's a little square of land over here, right off of this here road, and the guy that's being harassed in this video owns all of it. And someone left a vehicle in his driveway. And then the cops show up and start shaking everybody down. Y'all see how it goes. But I just want you to look at the circumstances here. There is no way that there was any type of blockage. Nothing is in the way of anything. It's not stopping any of that stuff, right?
Oilton city limits. Sergeant Beers got out of his patrol vehicle and began to speak with the solicitors who were sitting in their vehicle in Mr. Walbridge's driveway. Mr. Walbridge asked Sergeant Beers
What's
to
up,
leave
Toe
his
Daddy?
property. And
That's my baby daddy right there. That's Toe for life. He's my baby daddy. My baby daddy.
interaction that followed was captured on Sergeant Beers' body camera.
You're gonna be the one that's gonna be the one that loses, okay? So you need to step back, okay?
I won't be the one. Hey, I ain't stepping back.
You need to step back,
Son, I'll take you from head off.
you need to step back.
I ain't stepping back. You're on
Ain't
my
that a threat?
Get the hell out of here now.
You're muted. Muted,
Muted
Ricky.
myself. That's amateur bullshit right there. I'm gonna send somebody $1 back as soon as I get $1. Hey, big man, let me hold $1. Listen, homie is on his property. He saw a truck at the end of his driveway. He started walking out there to go check it, or a car or whatever. He went out there to go check it out. Before he gets there, the cops are there. The cops are there, and the cops tell him to go away. You go away. Back up. Right? Because officer safety is paramount in all things. If you were in space and they told you to back up for officer safety, you'd have to go further. Right? Isn't that what they expect?
Right. I mean, that's what they expect. But I mean, he said he'll rip his head off.
Well, homie standing on his own property, he can say anything he damn well pleases, and it don't rightly make a fuck who he's saying it to. As long as he's not physically threatening anyone, it's words. Now, you can call it fighting words, and if you happen to be in Georgia, anybody here
but
is...
doesn't those words, aren't they considered a threat? So therefore they're not protected under free speech?
It depends on whether the state has a fighting words clause or not. If there's a fighting words clause, then that's not a threat. That is a statement of possible fact that may occur in the event that certain circumstances are reached.
Yeah, no, I follow.
All cops would take that as a threat.
Right.
And like Georgia, we have fighting words clause, which means like I can tell you I'm fixing to stomp you down. If I don't do it, it becomes a terroristic threat. If I do it, it becomes assault. But if you did something, then I did something, and we end up scrapping. Legally speaking, as long as nobody else gets involved and there's no weapons involved and death is not likely, they're supposed to let us hash it out.
Okay.
Does that ever happen?
No.
So, where do you reckon this is going to go? Some officer safety bullshit? What's up, Pete Fletch 83? Good to see you, bud.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Right. There's only one place this can go if you've got a cop parent.
You need to step back.
You understand that?
You need to step back.
Get the hell out of here now. You're on my place.
Okay.
You interrupt.
Do we want to go this way?
Do you want to go this way?
I was making contact with somebody who was soliciting, and I have another suspect here.
What I was getting to about the fuzzy point here is I don't know what street this is or if this is the driveway that goes onto his property. I can't tell because the camera hasn't backed up far enough for us to see, is this the dirt road that goes up onto his property, or is this the road that goes by the property? If it's the road that goes by the property, he is in public right now. He doesn't realize it, but
unless he's like, if he parked in this dude's driveway.
He's not parked. It's not him. This is his property that the car is parked in. And when he came out to check on the car to see what was up, cop pulls up, tells him to go away. Well, it's on his property and he would like to know about it. I think that's worth at least a conversation, not just to go away and stay away. Now, everything goes horribly wrong and everybody here is to fault. So that's the way that works.
We'll start to get irate. I'm probably going to have to go hands on. All right. Keep your hands out of your pockets.
Welcome in, Ben.
You're on my place. I ain't getting my hands out of nothing.
Let me explain something to you, okay? I'm dealing with something totally
different. Naughty corner.
Okay? Whether it's in the county or not in the county, it started in the city. Okay, that's where we are. I'm going to be straight to the point.
Did you ask my permission?
I do not have to have your permission.
Place? You damn sure do. This is my place.
I'm going to tell you one more time to step back. Okay,
this is my place.
Step back.
I'm not stepping back. You get the hell in your truck and get out here now.
Mr. Walbridge repeatedly asks Sergeant Beers to leave his property, and Sergeant Beers refuses, claiming that he does not need Mr. Walbridge's permission to be on his property. The Fourth Amendment protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures in their houses. Now, although these Fourth Amendment protections extend to the so-called curtilage of the home, which is the area immediately surrounding and intimately associated with the home, courts have consistently determined that some areas of an individual's property that are outside their home and its curtilage are not protected by the Fourth Amendment. Here, Sergeant Beers approached the solicitors in Mr. Walbridge's driveway, which a court would likely conclude was not a part of the curtilage of Mr. Walbridge's home. As the Court of Criminal Appeals of Oklahoma summarized in the 1982 case of Finch versus State, quote, a reasonable expectation of privacy, not common law property distinctions, controls the scope of the Fourth Amendment. Now, when it comes to driveways, the court went on to explain that, quote, a driveway is only a semi-private area. The expectation of privacy which a possessor of land may reasonably have while carrying on activities on his driveway will generally depend upon the nature of the activities and the degree of visibility from the street. It would be equally unwise to hold, as a matter of law, that all driveways are protected by the Fourth Amendment from all penetrations by police officers as to hold the
giggity. He said penetration
is ever protected from police incursions. The test in each case would be that of reasonableness, both the possessor's expectations of privacy and of the officer's reasons for being on the driveway. Similarly, in the 2003 case of U.S. versus Hatfield, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over Oklahoma, determined that, quote, the openness and accessibility of a driveway to the public has been an important factor that courts have used to conclude that an owner does not have a reasonable expectation of privacy. And
so what we're getting at here is, all right, you're in your home. You have to create privacy. So you have walls and you have blinds and that type of stuff, right? Right. You draw your curtains so people can't see in. You have created privacy. No one can move to your home to remove those, to expose you, right? That was
no one can penetrate your home.
Exactly. So where we're at here is this gentleman has walked out past his typical curtilage, right? And curtilage is not defined by a specific distance, nothing like that. It depends on how you use the area and how visible it is. Like in my front yard is semi-public because you can spit from the sidewalk and hit my door. It's that small. So there's no sense trying to claim any level of Fourth Amendment right in that area, right? Right. First of all, there's a standing invitation for people to knock on the front door. That is why you have a path built to the door. That's why you own a stoop. That's why you have a doorbell and a door knocker, is because there is a standing invitation to anyone trying to find you to come knock on the door. So I cannot throw people out of my front yard without good reason, right?
Right.
However, when you go past the edge of my house, you enter my curtilage. At this point, this is a place I can push you away from. I can physically remove you from this space, but I can't drag you out to the sidewalk. Now, probably would given circumstances beyond my control, but they would quickly become in my control. What I'm getting at is he has made the error of thinking he owns all the way up to the road. And he does. But he doesn't have private property rights all the way to the road.
Right.
Once you step out into your driveway where you're visible from public, you no longer have your full Fourth Amendment protections. People can see you and you cannot trespass the eyes, right?
Right.
So whatever you do in this space becomes a semi-public thing, like in my front yard. If I put up a tent and go inside the tent and close it and no one can see what I'm doing, I have created privacy. Even in my front yard, inside that tent would be considered Fourth Amendment protected. Nutty as that sounds. I looked into it a little bit over here, and it really blew my mind when I got to digging on it.
Right. But I mean, once you tell him to, well, I don't know. I mean, without further,
we're going to check
like
it out.
We don't, yeah. But I'm saying, like you were making the statement, it's hard to see exactly where they're at when it comes to his property versus the city.
So I'm assuming since they're in the corner between a driveway and a road, and I know that much, I just don't know which one's the driveway and which one's the road. Is it this way or that way or what? You know, it doesn't matter. All of this is within, you know, between the mailboxes, so to speak. This is all public, and there's nothing you can do about it. So with the second he walked out there to that cop, when he went from firmly on his property within his curtilage onto public space, he is no longer protected by his Fourth Amendment and home protections. He is now protected by his Fourth Amendment and personal property and papers and stuff.
And that, now quoting again, driveways that are readily accessible to visitors are not entitled to the same Fourth Amendment protections as are the interiors of defendants' houses. In other words, although Sergeant Beers had entered onto Mr. Walbridge's property when he approached the solicitors in his driveway, given the fact that the driveway was open and accessible to the public, it is likely that a court would conclude that Sergeant Beers' initial entry did not constitute a Fourth Amendment violation. However, Mr. Walbridge could argue that after he asked Sergeant Beers to leave his property, his implied invitation to enter the driveway was terminated, and that Sergeant Beers'
All right, yet again, this is one of those fuzzy gray areas that it takes a judge to really parse out. Since he's not up near his house in his official curtilage, and he is actually down by the street, that's where he's done wrong. He can't tell the cop to leave public spaces. That's absurd. And if these people haven't actually pulled up his driveway, then they haven't violated anything either. The only issue is the city doesn't permit solicitation, and so they're trying to cite the people in the car for solicitation. So he's basically walking up on a traffic stop that hasn't begun yet.
Refusal to leave the property constituted a violation of his reasonable expectations of privacy, and therefore the Fourth Amendment. However, this would have to be debated in court.
Do you guys know him? You guys want to come try to talk to him before he goes in? Well, I'm dealing with another issue.
Guardian?
You fix it
All right.
with an issue.
All right.
Welcome in, sweetheart.
Good to see you. Really wish I could make my phone stand up properly. Everybody do a like button. And I'll tell you another thing I'd like you to do. I want y'all to share this to some particular Facebook group that you haven't talked to in a while. I don't want the one that you chat with every day. I want one that like you stopped chatting with because those freaks were weird. That's the one I want you to share it to. Also, if you have a community tab, share it and just say unexplained. Or if you want, you could use a clickbait reference if you wish. I'm not sure how to share things on Instagram. I think that's one at a time, ain't it? Screw that trash.
Turn around, play change back. Turn around and play change.
Put your hands in mine.
Turn around.
I'm taking your head off. Now, you understand that, son?
907 unit, drum right unit. Turn around, play change behind your back.
No.
Turn around and play change
No.
behind your
Get
back.
the hell off my butt.
So who's in the wrong here?
They're both in the wrong, I think. I mean,
a whole lot of ego flying right now. I
Right,
think Grandma
right.
here might have been sucking on the old corn squeezing all night, and then got interrupted this morning, and now he's in a bad mood. Is that an excusable situation?
Or maybe
Do
you
some
just don't like cops. I mean,
maybe so. Do some people just speak in threats? Yes. I know a couple of people who speak in
Absolutely.
threats like it's a language, you know.
mhm.
Like every other phrase they say is some type of threat against something or another. And it strikes me as an odd thing, but at the same time, that's just the way they talk. And you don't take offense to it when it occurs. Now, true, you usually know these people before it starts happening. And in this case, this guy's already got his freaking dander up. But what if he has a medical condition that causes him to be a bit irate?
Well, no matter what, like Doc said, he should be de-escalating, not escalating the situation.
He's like, I'll knock your head off. You turn around, put your hands behind your back. Somehow I think we missed the de-escalation step completely.
Right.
I think what I would have done, and I really wish I could have gotten things working right with Mr. Downey last week, because that's what I wanted to do, was bring in a few specific situations, you know,
Right.
that could be summed
Well,
up.
he agreed to a part 2, so.
Right. Well, that's fine. That's great. And we'll work it out some kind of how. I don't know how he has to update from that freaking Nokia he's using. How is he
Welcome
streaming
in,
from
Patricia.
his phone? Oh my God, Patricia, welcome
I
in.
don't,
Good-
it's not a flip phone, it's an iPhone.
It's gonna be a flip phone. Anyway, he's over here streaming from an old Kia Sierra.
Place.
Turn around. Stay in that car.
Get the hell off my place.
Turn around and place your hands behind your back.
You
That is
ain't
a
done
lawful
nothing.
order.
You put your hands on me.
Turn around.
and I'm taking your head off. You understand that, son?
Turn around. Place your hands behind your back.
All right.
did.
So I'm glad he didn't have a pistol in his pocket.
Right?
What's up, Mid-South Sasquatch?
I mean,
Welcome
he
in.
wasn't, and here's that area, right? I mean, he really wasn't a threat, like you were saying. You know what I mean? They're just words.
Actually, this
and-
tells the tale. This tells the entire tale. I'm pretty sure, aren't these city features that we're looking at here?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
Probably. I mean, maybe a lamppost and what's that, a water turn off or something?
Right, but instead of going and arresting him, why not try to de-escalate and reason with him and explain that? You know what I mean?
You know what I would have done? I would have turned and looked at the two people in the car and be like, pull down the road right over here. We need to get off his property. And they would have pulled down the road. You would have followed them, and this whole thing would have taken place not in a
Maybe,
driveway.
maybe not. I mean, because if they're on private
If they
property,
run-
what does the cop have any authority if they're on private property?
Because
If they were smart, go ahead.
he was following them because they were called in for soliciting in the city over here, which in that city is a citable offense. And so they were going to do the thing that he's supposed to do. I don't think he's supposed to follow them up into a county driveway because it's not illegal in the county. It's just illegal in the city. And yeah, no, this is all horrendous. What's up, Smoking Auditor? Welcome in, bud. You're not leaving him.
Mid-South
Well-
Sasquatch.
If you're not Lebanon, does that mean you're Jewish? I'm very confused. I thought you died.
907 County got one side. Turn around, place your hands behind your back. Well, your husband does not want to listen. All right, listen. I'm going to turn you around. We're going to cuff you up.
You got a lot of cups for me.
Just make sure this other guy that's back here doesn't come up behind me.
Between me and you and a hole in the ground, if I was those two solicitors, About time that cop jumped this old guy, I would have dropped my shit in the low and rolled out real slow like. Just my name's Paul and this shit's between y'all. This has nothing to do with me.
No, because he told them to stay there. You know what I mean?
Don't give
And
a damn
so,
what they told him.
okay,
It
but
don't make
wouldn't
a
that
damn.
be?
Once he goes into a violent situation where he is personally involved in some other bullshit, he is no longer involved in the stop. He never actually made a stop. There was never actually any lights. He never actually got an ID or even approached the car. He just told him
We
to stay
don't know
put.
that. You're just making an assumption.
No, I've seen the video. But okay. So we don't know
You've
that.
seen the
We're just
whole
making
video?
assumptions. Unfortunately, this is a good one.
Oh, okay.
You need your nitro? Hey, he needs nitro.
Now, ain't nobody else in the world gonna get this joke, but I'm gonna tell it. I saw your obituary myself. So there's that. Now, homie just had a heart attack. So here's my question. Have you ever been in present with someone who has a coronary event?
Yeah.
Would you shut up? I don't want to talk to you. I am busy. I am busy. Down to reject. I'm rejecting it. Don't call me when I'm live. I'm rude. When you're having a coronary event, up to 45 minutes before you realize you're having a problem, strange hormonal things start happening inside your body. You start releasing the stress hormone. I think it's cortisol. This starts all kinds of weird inflammatory effects all around your body and mutes other inflammatory effects. And so these people may have a weird burst of energy. You get a slug of adrenaline that you shouldn't be experiencing. And a lot of people go into an effect very similar to a panic attack. And this is 45 minutes before. They kind of get this weird nervousy kind of feeling and they don't know what it is. And so they just try to kind of plow through it, you know. I think that's what you just witnessed, was someone who was feeling a certain kind of way when he walked down here. And the cop just happened to catch the crossfire of it. And so when the cop grabs him, it sends him into full coronary. And that's where we're at.
All right.
They're coming.
But the cops
When
gonna
Mr.
lock him up
Walbridge
first.
refuses to move out of his way, Sergeant Beers orders Mr. Walbridge to put his hands behind his back. And when Mr. Walbridge does not comply, Sergeant Beers takes him to the ground, triggering an apparent cardiac event. Section 540 of Title 21 of the Oklahoma statute states that, quote, any person who willfully delays or obstructs any public officer in the discharge or attempt to discharge any duty of his or her office is guilty of a misdemeanor. It is possible that if Sergeant Beers had been within the territorial jurisdiction of his office, a court could find that Mr. Walbridge delayed or obstructed Sergeant Beers by preventing him from speaking to the solicitors, although Mr. Walbridge would have a strong argument that he was simply exercising his rights as a property owner. However, as we discussed earlier in this episode, because Mr. Walbridge's home was located outside of city limits, Sergeant Beers was outside. It's that, quote, any person.
That's exactly what I wanted to show a second ago. His house, and this is where things break down, right? Nope. Show me the outlined one. His house is literally one driveway past the city limits.
Right.
He is officially not in the city, which means none of this. This is his property here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everything around him in every direction except out here is the city. This is county, and apparently solicitation is acceptable in the county, but not in the city. So if they say they were coming down one of these other streets and they were soliciting at these houses, they were breaking the law. When they got into this area, technically speaking, this street is in the city, but the location of the home is not.
Got it.
I guarantee you he has city.
And the officer made the statement that the call was from the city, which they were in the city at first.
Right.
But like I think who said I forget who said it. You know what I mean? They're out of their
Right.
jurisdiction at that point.
Technically, sort of. But the thing is the entire length of this street
Dealing
is a city street. The entire length of it. There is no part of this street that's not a city street. So as long as they don't drive up into his driveway past.
But that's what it said. They stopped him in that dude's driveway. The cop stopped the solicitors in that guy's driveway.
Okay. Let's get the sound.
Because Mr. Walbridge's home was located outside of city limits, Sergeant Beers was outside of his jurisdiction while he was attempting to conduct his quote-unquote investigation. Therefore, if he was charged for obstruction, Mr. Walbridge could defend himself by arguing that Sergeant Beers was not discharging any duties of his office, since he did not have the lawful authority to conduct an investigation of Mr. Walbridge's property. Additionally, in the 1990 case of Ross versus Neff, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals held that, quote, an arrest...
What's up, Watt Life? Welcome in, bud. We got to get together and go fishing sometimes.
Arrest made outside of the arresting officer's jurisdiction violates the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, and that, now quoting again, a warrantless arrest executed outside of the arresting officer's jurisdiction is analogous to a warrantless arrest without probable cause. Absent exigent circumstances, such an arrest is presumptively unreasonable. As such, it is likely that a court would conclude that Sergeant Beers' arrest of Mr. Walbridge outside of his jurisdiction was unconstitutional, even assuming for the sake of argument that he did have probable cause to arrest Mr. Walbridge for obstructing. Additionally, Mr. Walbridge would have a strong argument that Sergeant Beers' use of force was excessive, also in violation of the Fourth Amendment. As we have discussed many times on ATA, when determining whether a use of force is excessive, courts must consider three factors that the Supreme Court outlined in the 1989 case of Graham versus Connor. Now quoting, the severity of the crime at issue, whether the suspect poses an immediate threat to the safety of the officers or others, and whether he is actively resisting arrest or attempting to evade arrest by flight. At
Welcome
most,
in, bud.
the crime at issue was the obstruction of an investigation of a solicitation violation. Although Mr. Walbridge made verbal threats, he did not take any
shots fired. Check this out. Trusting someone who says they're a life coach is like saying only smart people come from Alabama. You ever met anybody from Alabama?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. All the trees in Georgia sway west because Alabama sucks.
physical action against Sergeant Beers before the initiation of force, and although he refused to comply with commands, he did not physically resist or attempt to flee. As such, a court could conclude that not only was the arrest itself unlawful, but that the amount of force Sergeant Beers used to effect the arrest was constitutionally excessive.
You need your nitro?
907 to 94.
91. Go ahead and start me medical. Hey, stay with me, okay? I'm going to roll you back this way.
Okay, I'm
I'm
going to
rolling
give
back
him
this
credit.
way.
He did not cuff that man after the heart attack. I thought he had. I heard those cuffs go, and I said he just hooked him up. I missed that the first time through. All right, so this here is a house marker. We are out by the road.
Right.
So this we're technically in public, but not in city, I suppose.
Hey, go get that. Tell him to grab his nitro. Bring it,
Sorry
bring
about
it.
that, fella.
I know.
What did I do?
No, just him patting him on the back. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is that going to do? I mean,
Well, all right. So funny thing, and this makes no sense, although it kind of does. You know, when you have a coronary, well, it depends on what type of cardiac event you have, whether or not this will have any effect. But sometimes a swift pop to the chest will stop a fibrillation or an AFib, right? You can,
yeah.
and the heart goes, wait, something's wrong, and just starts beating normal because something was wrong before and the heart didn't know it. Now it is.
Right.
Now it knows. And we've got things to do. So I'm going to do one of those things. Oh, wait, I've been loading stuff. I forgot. Look at all.
You don't want cars?
I added that one. This is one.
I gotta bounce. Thanks a lot for proving just how ugly and immature you are. It's been real. And just so you know, I don't really care about your problems.
I want that one. I totally want that one.
Yeah, I love that one. I'm not sure I'm sharing that one because I got to bounce. I was going to use it for an outro. That was my plan. Do we got no, not that one. Which is what that guy was pretending to be.
Yeah.
But this
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Right. Where were we at? What's up, Mr. Pickle? Welcome in, Andy.
You know how it goes? I don't.
You know how it goes?
Darby Medical.
Really?
You know how it goes?
Oh, no, he was asking about the medicine.
I know.
Some of them you take, some of them you stick under the tongue, and some of them you stick between your gum and cheek.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, do you know how it goes? Is referencing, do you know how to administer the medicine? Money is winning. Yes.
Right. Yeah, no, I got that. But I thought I didn't know there were 3 different methods. I just know of, putting it under the
Depends on the nitro. Most nitro is translingual, almost all of it. But there are a few types of cardiac issues that aren't like critical, where they utilize low dose nitro, and that basically just keeps a little bit in your system all the time. Something like that. Be honest, I learned most of this when my mom was going through cardio issues, and quite frankly, it didn't make it very far. She was like, "Oh, she has a heart problem. Oh, she's dead," and that's the way that goes sometimes. Well, I mean, that's, like I said, that's the way that goes sometimes.
Right.
But at least the cop did stop for a minute. Crispy, hold on. Where's my other banner? But I'm only going to leave it up for a minute because this is AJOT's show. This kind of stuff. That is CaucasianSasquatch@gmail.com for scheduling questions or drunken thoughts. And if you want to support the channel currently, you're going to have to just think happy thoughts until I get some way for you to give me some cash, because I really want that cash. I'm going to steal some of Flow State's clips. Because that show me the money bit with Wizard. Oh my God, I love that bit. I love spending money. You can see the joy of it in his eyes, man. It's awesome.
I don't.
Darby Medical. Here.
It's totally uncold.
How many? 1 or 2? Do you know? You just want drop under. It goes under. Under. Close.
There's one, Willard. Another one. Better get some animals here.
All right, so that's right.
I tell them, hurry.
Yeah, he's already called for medical, but they're on the edge of the city, and it's going to take at least like a few minutes for him to show up. Now, I am so close to the hospital that if I make a loud noise, an ambulance is bound to show up. We burn a Pop-Tart one morning when we're getting ready to send the kids to school, and we had a smoke detector go off. The smoke detector triggered the house alarm. The house alarm is like 90 decibel loudspeakers in the attic. I never knew this thing existed until it went off. I'm laying in here asleep, and all of a sudden the hurricane siren goes off, and I'm like, stuck to the roof like a black cat. What is that? I get up, go running around. I find there's police, there's firemen, there's ambulance, everybody. I walk in, and my wife looks at me in her moo-moo at 6 o'clock in the morning and goes, "I burned a Pop-Tart." I had to go outside and talk to everybody in my skivvies. I'm standing out there, and they're like, "Step away from the door." I'm like, fuck off. I was like, "She burned a Pop-Tart. Y'all go away. We don't need you." Cost us a couple $100, and because of the non-emergency emergency response. But
I guess
You're going to end up death when you're This was stupid.
It
You
is
figured it
stupid.
out yet?
It is stupid.
You didn't have to do this.
Okay,
I
listen.
don't care what he was doing.
Listen.
He's 80 years
Back
old.
up. Okay,
You gonna do me now?
back up.
Yep,
I hope he's sued. Or
Back up.
I do too. I hope this man sues him into the Stone Age.
Where's is that the wife?
Welcome in, Ozzy.
Okay, one or two.
What's up, Ozzy Manda?
I guess I don't know.
Good to see you, bud.
How
go
come
under-
no? Oh my God.
What it is?
I just, well, the wife just said, I don't know, because I asked her, how to give it or whatever. But I mean,
because
weren't
he-
they brought the bottle?
They
That
they
they're
were
in?
at least part one. I don't know. I'm assuming the bottle, but the thing is like he was give briefed on how to do it, and when he gets a certain feeling up in his chest, he's supposed to stick one under his tongue. He'd be good for like 5 or 6 hours. But when something suddenly happens that causes a jump in heart rate, it is much more likely to trigger an event. And a physical altercation with a person that is physically stronger than you is exactly the type of ingredients you need to trigger that trash. So as far as why she wouldn't know how to do it, she would have heard put it under his tongue, but she wouldn't know when. That's for him to know. He feels that. So
I understand, but they're wife and husband. I would think that, you know what I mean?
but she wouldn't know whether he could take 2 back to back or whatever.
Again, that does not make sense to me, right? If my husband or my significant other has heart issues, I'm going to know how, when exactly to give him his medicine. That's all I'm saying.
He's 80 years old. I'm assuming they're sleeping in separate beds at this point.
But
And we've
still.
gone beyond that bond you speak of.
Oh, whatever.
I woke up to noises and saw a 60-foot tall wall of fire rolling up the hill, staying on an old guy's land. Went down to see if he was still vertical and found him on hold with the sheriff's department.
Oh my
Yep,
God.
that tracks. That tracks flawlessly. That makes sense. They were sending out a deputy to make sure the call wasn't a prank before waking up the volunteers. Wow. Wow. Depending on where you're at and what type of dude, if you're in Mesquite or something like that few minutes is gonna cost somebody because that shit burns like gasoline, bro.
That's something that's maybe having a heart attack. You tell the ambulance step it up. I'm gonna put this. It's your pill. It's your nitro. Your nitro, okay? Put it in your mouth. Your nitro. Hey, talk. Yeah. Well, he's looking for you guys.
All right. I'm a little torn here. Myself, I would have just shoved it in his mouth. I would have stuck it in there either right here so he didn't have to stick his fingers past his teeth, or real quick and put it under his tongue real quick. Because I know that most nitro is translingual. And at worst, you have the attempt to save his life, right?
As long as you don't miss and he choke on it.
Well, even if it's still the attempt to save his life. He needed the nitro, and even if it's administered wrong, you still fall under the Good Samaritan clause. In the
No,
law.
I get that.
Trying your
As long
best.
as it don't choke him in the process.
Even if it does choke him, he's still trying his best. But what I'm saying is, he couldn't be brought up on charges because the homie's having a heart attack and he gave him nitro, and he couldn't control his tongue and swallowed it. But that's not going to kill nobody. And even they're so tiny. Have you ever seen a nitro?
Yes.
They're barely there at all. They dissolve almost immediately. If he gets it anywhere near a wet spot over yonder, he'll be fine.
Right.
It ain't
I
gonna
just can't
choke
have
him.
you over here threatening me and telling me
Okay,
you
give me the pill. Give me the pill.
gotta go in his
I know. Willard,
Willard in your mouth, okay?
up underneath.
Week of 1.
You do.
You got it.
Put one.
You do.
That's your 2. That's number 2.
You do.
Sorry. I can't do nothing. I'm just totally helpless. Sorry. That's okay. Thank you.
Now, the interesting thing about all of this is that nitro takes effect so freaking quickly It is scary because it's like heart attack. Oh, we're not having a heart attack anymore. And they don't necessarily come back so quick, but sometimes they do. Sometimes they just take a breath, look over and go, okay, well, that's better. Sometimes not.
Willard,
Let's back off and let him calm down. Maybe it'll help. I ain't been disrespectful.
No, you're
back
good.
off and let him be.
will you sit down here?
Okay, now I have an issue. This lady should not be here. She should be nowhere near. I don't care who she is or what she's here for. Unless that's a pet pig, she shouldn't be here. And even if it's a pet pig, she should probably be sitting on the porch drinking a mint julep with a pistol, protecting people from ne'er-do-wells.
Okay, so, but why do you say that? Okay, so she's holding a child, but why do you say she should not be there, no matter what her relation is?
She cannot help anyone here except for with information, and yet she is standing directly over the victim and the officer in the way. She should be on the other side. I don't
think she's in the way. But,
I don't think she's intentionally in the way, but the fact is, this is another feature that the officer has to keep on his mind. Also, he's still got two unknowns in a car back over here.
Right.
He got a dying man in his feet, an angry son at his left, and a really upset grand somebody over yonder. And then this chick walks up with the baby. I get that she's interested, she's concerned, and all of that. She's not helping the situation, and as long as she's holding that child, has no way to help the situation. She can take 10 steps back and do everything that she could physically do or verbally do and not be a direct concern of the officer by being so close.
You bootlicker. Okay, come on.
We're in public, bro.
You didn't need any more.
I'm not trying to give him any more. I wasn't trying to get it to this point.
Please.
I'm going to need you guys to stay here for a minute. I'll probably need a statement from you.
Can this man say no? Is this officer?
I mean, they only have. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the answer would be, because technically they only have a certain amount of time within reason to conduct their investigation. You know what I mean? But I do understand that an outside circumstance happened. But at the same time, I'm thinking in my head, well, that cop caused that. You know what I mean? In all reality. So why should they have to stay because of his negligence?
Well, the cop will say that the bystander caused that. And these people are in no way involved in anything that took place after it went hands on. Right?
Understood.
Unless they were blue lighted into this driveway. And even then, this gets to yet another fuzzy point, because we've already been, 10 minutes?
Right. Well, you can see that the car is in that dude's driveway. The cop, which is in that truck, is still on the street. He probably lit him up. Homeboy, they were probably going to that dude's house anyway. Right. You know what I mean?
We'll get to the light up location in a minute. What I want to know is why there's no dash cam up to this point. I would really love to see the dash cam previous to this.
Right. When he lit him up and all that. Is that what you mean? You're muted.
I did it again. Here's another issue I have here. Notice this truck here. How would you know this is a police truck?
You wouldn't.
It's blacked out police on matte black. It's basically gloss black on matte black. Man.
So was he off duty?
I don't believe so. I think he is actively working right now. He's in uniform. He's in I can't remember, a ghost cop car is what they call them. Ghost car.
Unmarked, yeah.
It's not unmarked. It is legally marked according to the law. Minimally.
I don't see it. You just made that statement.
Police right here. It says police.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Right there. It's very, very faint. That's what I was saying. It's not black on gray. It is gloss black on matte black. And they wrote police in gloss. So if you at night, it would light up a little bit better than it would during the day.
Yeah, ghost markings. Yeah.
That shit's shady as hell to me. I hate that. I hate it with a It makes me so mad. That is the first step to making entrapment illegal. This is almost entrapment. You combine this with some shady tactics, and it is entrapment.
Right.
It should be illegal. Absolutely. Should be illegal.
What's the deal over here? I don't get it.
So somebody called in saying that there were solicitors going around.
So,
They gave this vehicle.
okay.
So I made contact with these guys.
Okay.
It happened in the city.
I think that's his
Their
wife.
husband is a stroke.
Yes.
Yes,
And that's
his
probably her
wife.
grandbaby, because I think that was her daughter who was giving him the pills. Just so we know.
Something like that. Yeah, that tracks. Right. And the dirt on the truck doesn't even help. You're right. You're right. Every aspect of that vehicle is designed to make you think it's not a cop. And to me, that's the first step of entrapment. First, they have to convince you they're not a cop. It's just like an undercover officer straight lying to you and doing your drugs and then taking you in and telling their buddies to come pick you up. And then they testify against you when they were higher than you were and sold more drugs.
Right.
Came up, basically told me to get the fuck off his property. This is county property. Started threatening me.
Talking to somebody? Is okay, isn't it?
Well, there's an incident.
Did you see the look on her face? He told me to get the fuck off his property, and she kind of nodded. Was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Before that works.
It happened prior to that. So take it in this concept. If these guys murdered somebody in the city, and then they came over here and were talking to you,
You can't compare apples and oranges. It don't work.
False equivalency. That is not real. That is not a thing, and I really wish cops would stop doing it.
Yeah.
It proves how dumb you are. You believe you're bullshit, and that's no good. That helps no one.
Right.
would we not come here and apprehend them?
I don't know what you do.
Sergeant Beers claims that he had the authority to continue his investigation on county property because the solicitors had initially broken the law on city property. As the Court of Criminal Appeals of Oklahoma explained in the 2004 case of United States versus Sawyer, quote, generally, a police officer's authority cannot extend beyond his jurisdiction. Recognized exceptions to this general rule are hot pursuit, when one municipality has requested assistance, and when an officer is serving an arrest warrant. Otherwise, once outside the city limits of the municipality by which they are employed, the officer acts as a private citizen with no greater authority than that of a private citizen. Here, it is indisputable that Sergeant Beers was not responding to a request for assistance from another municipality or serving an arrest warrant. And it is also probable that a court would likewise conclude that he was not in quote-unquote hot pursuit of the solicitors. According to the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Oklahoma in the 2016 case of Madden versus Cleveland County, quote, hot pursuit occurs when an officer is in immediate or continuous pursuit of a suspect from the scene of a crime. And while Sergeant Beers was looking for the solicitors, he had not chased them from a crime scene, which means that a court would likely find that the narrow exception for hot...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that implies he didn't blue light them there, that they had stopped there to talk to someone. They were solicitors after all.
I mean, I don't, yeah.
What's up, Steve Harloa? Welcome in, bud. I appreciate you coming by. Thursday, I'm gonna be interviewing this gentleman. We're gonna have us a lovely conversation, and we're gonna do an after dark. And I'm thinking about doing a themed after dark on this one. Nice. Usually, it's just some kind of randomness that I find something funny, memes or whatever. But I've been thinking about going and finding like every possible case of YouTubers repeating the sniper shot on Trump and lining them up and watching them all. I don't know. It's just a thought. What do y'all think about that? Because the thing is, 167 yards isn't far. And you've got a bunch of people saying, oh, well, that's a hard shot. It would be difficult to do that. You got other people over here pulling it off with pistols. They're like, it's not hard. And I stand by that. It's not hard. But people who live in a city and have never messed with a gun, I could see why they wouldn't believe that it's easy. What's up, Lawless? Good to see you, bud. Ain't seen you in a minute. Why don't you come give me some love, man? In a world where Lawless hates Sasquatch.
Pursuit did not apply. Additionally, the hot pursuit exception allows officers officers to make arrests outside of their jurisdiction, not conduct investigations. For instance, in the 1977 case of Graham versus State, the Court of Criminal Appeals of Oklahoma invalidated a warrantless search of a residence conducted by a police officer outside the corporate limits of his jurisdiction, finding that none of the exceptions to the general rule limiting the policeman's authority to his jurisdiction were applicable. Because Sergeant Beers was attempting to conduct an investigation and not attempting to arrest the solicitors, a court would likely find that the hot pursuit exception did not apply, and that Sergeant Beers was therefore acting outside the scope of his authority.
No, so County. Good. Gonna be on West. 907 County.
Like, what is it? Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Or out is my ambulance.
My favorite character was Enos. He's the dirtiest cop there. Roscoe had sold out to the city, so he was sold out to Boss Hogg, who was the mayor, right? But Enos was so in love with Daisy, them boys could have got away with murder and he'd have helped them hide the body and wouldn't have investigated the fact that he just dug a 6-foot hole, and he wouldn't have fingerprinted the hole. He'd have just smiled at Daisy and went back to work. Probably got him a little buckle of shine while he was at it.
Fancy.
Oh, Dylan Hammond. I am not forgetting Boss Hogg. He wasn't my favorite character there. Boss Hogg, you know he was a skinny dude in a fat suit.
Oh yeah.
Dollar bills, man. I swear to God. Go look it up. He was 148, 158 pounds, something like that, 4'5". And they gave him a fat suit and then brought his butt to, I think it was filmed it in South Carolina. No, maybe it was supposed to be in South Carolina and they filmed it in Georgia. I can't remember. Anyway, and he had to film in the sun outside in August wearing a fat suit. And he lost more weight filming, trying to put on weight. What's up, Lawless World, baby?
Welcome in,
Yeah,
Brandon
and,
Mitchell.
that's another thing. Andy Pickle, that's right. He also knew like a dozen, maybe more languages. He could speak more languages than anyone else on set, and it was an interesting set because it got moved a few times. Down in Covington, here in Georgia, one of the old crashed General Lee's is still sitting in a garage down there where it was parked after filming. Yeehaw.
Claiborne, welcome in.
Miss Claiborne, I'm sorry, Claiborne.
What's your address?
Welcome in, bud.
And Brandon.
5344. We've turned that. Sorry, that 5344 West.
I appreciate it, bud.
What is your name?
Beers, Sergeant Beers.
Right. Wasn't it filmed near Covington, Georgia, and was supposed to take place in, I think, South Carolina? It was supposed to be Hazard County, South Carolina. I think. Pretty sure there used to be a Hazard County, Georgia, but I don't know where that's at. I think it was pre-Civil War, but whatever.
Yes, ma'am. My badge is 907.
Alfredo Gonzalez, welcome in, bud. Appreciate you coming by.
And what came out, they said it was a ruinous looking car with Michigan plates.
Did I miss Lulu? Oh, wait, no. Miss Lulu. Miss Lulu was the dispatcher on, she was the secretary, wasn't she? The secretary, dispatcher, town clerk, county clerk, and general all-around ne'er-do-well for Boss Hogg. Wasn't that Miss
I
Lulu?
don't know. I really didn't watch it.
What? Okay, all right. Well, shit. No wonder you don't get most of my humor. Just a good old boy.
Doing paperwork. Call comes through. I missed the call. I call right back. They say, hey, this is so and so. I can't even remember the name. I have to look on that call ID. There's some solicitors down on 6th. Isn't there an ordinance for it? So I didn't really know for sure. I looked it up, found that there was an ordinance. Made contact with a female So the female's there. I got her information. She told me what the other two males were driving. So I came back this way, found this car. It's here. I saw the two gentlemen there.
Beats all you ever saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born.
I know that.
So I went to make contact with them. Make contact with them. We're fixing to leave. I was going to have them go back with me over to where she was so I could explain, the city ordinance to all three of them at one time. And I don't even know his name. He kept getting up in my face, So you ain't got a right to be here. Is this county property? And I said, I understand it's county property. I explained to him that, we have an issue that happened inside the city that I was dealing with and that I have to deal with that. And then I'll talk to him. Give me 1 second, ma'am.
Who's the chief?
Okay, so we're at the hour mark, and we're going to end the poll in my chat and see whether or not people trust life coaches. 87% say no, 12% say yes. I want to know what life coaches that 12% trust. I'll need names and receipts, yo. I did a bad thing. I forgive me, Binky, for I've sinned. It's like this. So I found there's this guy, and I'm not going to name names, although everyone in my chat is familiar with this dude who considers himself a life coach. And I found a dude that looks like a successful version of him. It's the most hilarious little clip I ever saw. Not because the clip itself is funny. It's kind of funny anyway. But because he looks like what that guy would look like if he lifted weights, got a trim, took a shower, and let his wife dress him. He looks like a successful version of that dude. It's hilarious. And I've got it saved, and I sent it to a few people to see if someone's going to make a useful short out of it. And if they don't, I'm going hard. I'm going hard. I'm sorry. I have been sitting on this for a couple of hours, and I am going to upset this man. He is going to be mad if I do that reaction. They're both going to get I guarantee it.
Guarantee it.
Chief Sal, I'm on the phone with him right now. I'll make contact with you. He kept coming out, kept getting up in my face.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not wrong. Are preachers considered life coaches? Not life coaches. They are moral coaches. They are somewhat of an ethical coach, and they are more what do they call it? Music to soothe the savage soul. They're not life coaches, though. You have to choose what you go to a priest to ask, right? You can't just go ask them about anything, or you can, but the advice you get will be as useful as the individual's experience. So if all they can do is quote you something from the Bible because they've never done anything.
Spiritual advisor.
Sure. Spiritual advisor. But if that priest has been divorced 5 times, you might be able to talk to him about marriage. Priests are like this is a big deal to me, man. When people ask advice, I try to send them to the right freaking place. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. But you don't go to a priest to ask about drug use and all of this stuff. Maybe an older priest, someone who's dealt with it for a long time, he may have some good advice, but all of his advice would come vicariously, right? Because of the experience he witnessed others have. Whereas you go to a bartender, and that man could tell you where the local AA group is. Give you the address to a sponsor. He can hook you up with the hooker if that's what you need. But the bartender can really help you sometimes. A priest is only going to say some platitudes and tell you not to forget the donation box on the way out.
Right.
Put his hands up. I don't know. He just got upset that I was here talking to them, and he said, "You have no right to come and talk to them because they're in the county now." And I said, "Well, I had an issue that took place in the city, and
muted."
Some type of guidance, sure. I'm on it tonight, ain't I? Yeah. Some type of guidance, sure. But if a priest has never run a 12-woman prostitute circle, you can't go and ask him what to do about your stable.
Stop it.
What I'm saying is he doesn't have the right experience. Like, if I was going to ask about marriage, I wouldn't go to a priest. I might go to a bartender. More likely, I would go find the guy who's been married the most I know and go talk to him about it, and then go talk to somebody who's been married to the same woman forever. Compare the notes and see what I could do with it, right? But what I don't do is go to a priest and say, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I have been cheating on my wife every 2 days for the past 16 years with your receptionist." That's not going to help. He can't help you with that. That's not something he's going to be able to give you advice out of. I mean, he'll give you some Hail Marys and you can be full of grace, but whatever. What's up, Truism Form Tro? How you doing, bro? I appreciate you coming through. Hit that like button. Hey, you go share this stream somewhere on Twitter to some freaking group that you're not too fond of or something. You know, use it as a punishment. It'll be good. Yeah, everybody can share Twitter, right? Wait, what did I miss?
Oh, I was telling Doc later.
Oh, yeah. Much love. Don't let the man get you down. Yeah. You know the group I want you to share it to. You go share it to that one you dislike the most.
You know, I have to handle that, and then we'll go from there. And so we went from that to start putting his hands on his back. And at that point, I said, you know, look, you need to back up away from me, or this is going to go a different way.
That was a lie.
Right.
He just lied. He said that man physically touched him. That man did not physically. You attacked him.
Yep.
He said words, the wind through a knothole. He made noises with his face hole. That's it. Nothing. Now, the words he said may have been aggressive, but as long as he doesn't touch you, dude, what are you doing?
He said, I don't know exact words, something about, you know, like, if you put your hands on me, or, you know, I'll do something to you. I mean, there was some type of threat, physical threat. So I kind of sidestepped and I went to grab his arm. He's getting back away from me. So I sidestepped the other way.
The results were 87% was they do not trust life coaches, and 12% do. I'm pretty sure, what's his name? Freaking Hank O'Flamio. I think Hank O'Flamio might have come through, and maybe some Gen X Jeff, and they both voted that yes, life coaches help. And you know why I say that.
I know who it was. I mean, I treated him just like I would have done any other person. He hollered and said he needed.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Hey, he needs nitro. They brought it out. We gave him 2 nitros. I called for an ambulance. I called for drum right before I ever had to go physical.
You still need me for anything?
Well, I told him it's in 22. Hey, hold on 1 second. I was trying to get somebody here before it got to this point. So,
okay.
But
yeah, they sent me all the way to like 4th on the east side of town, and I'm like, I don't know where he is.
I told him between Main and 3rd off of Westwood.
Yeah, they said between Main and 3rd, Westwood never came out. So.
Okay.
All right, man. If you don't need me, I'll head back.
Yep, you're good. I appreciate it. Let me talk to the ambulance. I'll play back. Basically, we had to get physical.
First of all, my problem with life coaches is the idea that somebody has come to a point in their life where they are so confident in their capabilities of doing what it is that life requires you to do, that they're going to turn around and take time out of their day to try to teach someone who doesn't know how life works, how it works. And that seems highly disingenuous to me. And selling that concept seems evil. That's evil. Men, real men. I had somebody broach me the other day, said something about charity and mercy being for the weak. And I said, yes, sir, you are correct. It is for the weak. It is a sacrifice by the strong, giving willingly to the weak. That is charity and mercy. And that is exactly what charity and mercy are for. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like life coaches. I think they're all complete trash. I think you can get just as much out of some Jordan Peterson or you know, Hell, go watch Gladiator. You can spend your time so much better, is all I'm saying.
Around. He said he needed his nitro, and so I hollered for his wife to get his nitro. They gave him 2 pills, tried to get it used on his side, so they were tucking him. And then we've been here at this whole point. So like, I'm good, but I just need him to take care of me.
Mr. Walbridge did not suffer any serious complications from the cardiac event, although he reported that his wrist and
my man say life is the best teacher, to be honest. Absolute raw dog fact right there, bro.
finger were bleeding, and that he was quote-unquote bruised up when he regained consciousness in the ambulance. In a media interview, Mr. Walbridge stated that he had filed complaints over the incident, but had not yet considered taking legal action. He was not charged with any crimes.
I'm
On
just
March
going to leave that
23rd,
sitting there for a while.
2024, the Oilton PD shared partial body camera footage of the altercation on its Facebook page, along with a statement defending and supporting Sergeant Beers's actions. The statement indicated that Sergeant Beers was quote-unquote forced to physically take Mr. Walbridge into custody, quote, for his own safety and the possible safety of the public, and stated that, quote, it is unfortunate that these events had to take place, but it is the
What's up,
opinion
No
of this
Fear?
department
Welcome in,
that
bud.
Sergeant Beers
Good to see
acted
you.
accordingly based on training and officer safety as a full-time state of Oklahoma CLEAT certified police officer. Despite the apparent support of his department, Sergeant Beers resigned from his position on April 9th, 2024. The encounter was reported to Creek County District Attorney Max Cook, who confirmed that he was reviewing the body camera footage and investigating. As of the date of writing this episode, no charges have been filed against Sergeant Beers, and no updates regarding the DA's investigation have been made public. It should also be noted that while Guerrilla Publishing was investigating this encounter, they uncovered a substantial amount of corruption involving now former Oilton Police Chief Carl Stout, who defended Sergeant Beers' actions in his encounter with Mr. Walbridge, including a long history of domestic violence and sexual.
It's the blind leading the dumb, man. That's what this is. I blame TV.
Misconduct allegations. On April 30th, 2024, Chief Stout's wife filed a protective order against him, and on May 14th, the Oilton City Council voted to terminate Chief Stout for cause. Guerrilla Publishing has released a documentary on their complete findings, and I have included a link in the description for this episode if you're interested in learning more. Overall, Sergeant Beers gets an F for demonstrating a complete lack of regard for the boundaries of his jurisdiction and Mr. Walbridge's rights as a property owner, using an
failure. Total abject failure. First of all, you were out of jurisdiction. Second of all, you left your car. Third of all, you were initiating an investigation on something that is essentially a non-crime outside of your jurisdiction. 4, you went on to private property and accosted the homeowner. This dude should be drummed out of policing, tarred and feathered.
Yep.
An excessive and unjustifiable amount of force against Mr. Walbridge, and failing to exhibit any remorse for his actions that caused an elderly veteran to suffer an apparent cardiac event. Even if Sergeant Beers was entirely justified in arresting Mr. Walbridge, which, to be clear, I do not believe he was, the amount of force he used against a passively resisting elderly man on his own property was unnecessary and unconscionable, particularly given the fact that that crime he was investigating was nothing more than a potential solicitation violation. There are many actions that Sergeant Beers could have taken to de-escalate this situation, such as compliance.
Look at the life coach that you're using and look at their own life. I assure you one day you will find out their life is in the shitter. See, that's the thing, is I could come up here and show you an absolutely immaculate version of my life. You would believe that I was living in the absolute lap of luxury, surrounded by beautiful women. The catch is that while I am somewhat wealthy, most of my wealth is tied up in doing things, and so I really can't just go throwing out money. I'm just as broke as the rest of you, but it's because I'm doing shit with the money that I don't want to stop using it for to do other stuff with, and so that's the way that goes. That being said, I do not live in the lap of luxury, and those beautiful women you see around me are mostly my daughters and their friends. So that's, bro, like I'm telling you, they're all like 19, 20, 21 now. And I just stay in my room. I don't even come out when they're here. I just, they're all running around in fucking bikinis everywhere. And I'm like, no, girls, y'all were 12 yesterday. Stop this. Y'all can't, no. First of all, that's nothing but a string. I have more material on my Band-Aid than you do in that freaking bikini. Go put on a sweater, preferably a turtleneck. I'm just saying, I'm trying to be a real man over here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be an honorable type of dude, and I didn't used to be. So, you know, it's little baby steps, man. Little baby steps.
Complying with Mr. Walbridge's request that he leave his property and requesting the solicitors to come with him. Sergeant Beers could have also used the solicitors' license plate information to continue the investigation at a later date, or requested that the county police respond and assist him. Instead of availing himself of any of these alternatives,
What he should have done is taken the license plate, put it in the freaking registry, and the next time they come across that vehicle, pull it over and ask about solicitation. That would be freaking investigation. What he did instead, try to short circuit all of that by catching them in the act. But it just so happened they were outside city limits. So he completely dropped the ball on the case. Completely.
Sergeant Beers chose to remain on private property outside of his jurisdiction after being asked to leave without a warrant or exigent circumstances, and used substantial physical force against an elderly homeowner who was attempting to protect his property from an unreasonable intrusion by a police officer. This conduct was...
He's right. That man's hair looks like he went to those one of those Indian people and had it sprayed on. Oh my God. See, I'm telling you, man, Smoking Auditor needs to go to the comments of some of these videos and make clips and just read the comments. But he's such a nice guy. It would come across with like no punch. Get any traction. But if he could smoke up cops as the Smoking Auditor, he'd make a killing. He'd be monetized in a month. Easy. So if you've got a particularly nasty cousin, bring that man in and let them smoke him up on your channel. Tell him you'll split the dividend with him. I'll manage them.
Entirely
John D. Nicola.
I am relieved that Sergeant
John
Beers and
Nicola.
Chief Stout are
I miss
no
you where
longer
you at.
employed by the
Where
Boylton
you
PD.
at?
Mr. Walbridge gets a B- because while he did make threats of physical violence against Sergeant Beers and resisted Sergeant Beers' attempts to arrest him, he was likely within his rights to resist the arrest under Oklahoma law. Although citizens can be arrested for resisting an unlawful arrest in many states, Oklahoma jurisprudence recognizes a right to reasonably resist an unlawful arrest.
Exactly.
Now, of course, there are limitations.
I will come through after they come back from the swimming pool and just take one look across the sea of young women and go, not today, Satan, and go to my room, lock my door, and sit here and play with you folks on YouTube. Yep.
John, you're not the only one who said that.
Hey, he might be an asshat, but he had the video I was looking for.
This right, and citizens can still find themselves in legal trouble if they attempt to resist an arrest they believe is illegal that a court later determines to be lawful, or if the physical resistance exceeds the bounds of what a court believes to be quote-unquote reasonable. However, because Sergeant Beers was attempting to arrest Mr. Walbridge outside of his jurisdiction, it is likely that a court would conclude that in this situation, Mr. Walbridge was well within his rights to reasonably resist the arrest. That being said, I cannot support making threats of physical violence in most situations, and I would suggest that individuals do not resist arrests, even in states that allow citizens to resist unlawful arrests, as there is a substantial risk of criminal conviction if a court disagrees with the citizen about the lawfulness of an arrest or the reasonableness of the force used in resistance. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic.
No, we're not going to do that. We're going to go to this one.
When someone is on the
And we're going to drop down for a second. Hey,
Hey,
how many M&Ms does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I don't know.
Me either. I always eat them before I put the light bulb in.
brink of committing a crime that could jeopardize their freedom, you might expect them to have a foolproof plan. But well, that's not always the case. A DoorDash driver who was recklessly driving and had no plates on decided to add another charge to her rap sheet by trying to flee on her moped.
What is this fucking shit? How the hell are you gonna get away pushing a moped? Why didn't you get on it? You had a chance. You had one chance. Holy shit, what are you doing here?
I was coming to talk to you about the cake that I bought.
And what happened to the cake?
It tastes like a banana nut bread had babies with other cakes.
Yes, no,
And
my
it's
aunt
fine.
my aunt is phenomenal at baking. She is a 5-star chef.
It was like a big cream cheese frosting.
Yeah, no. She did my wedding cake. Go ask Rachel about that.
Oh, I already did.
Sorry. My daughter snuck in on me while I wasn't looking. When I covered my eyes, she was like right here, like breathing on me. Scared the living bejesus out of me. Now I gotta go get Jesus. You can unscrew a light bulb. He says, how is a light bulb different than a pregnant woman? You can unscrew a light bulb. Bro, you look at my early channel and you will find every joke YouTube will permit. All of them. Because I did all the jokes and they took away a bunch. I did all of them that you can find on Google.
In many UK banks, tellers can press a button that activates a rapidly rising security screen, protecting workers and preventing theft. This bank robber not only failed to check for any security system, but also mistakenly believed he was locked inside the bank, when in reality he simply needed to pull.
All right, A-Drop.
Oh,
You hear
my
that
God.
tiny little bit of music playing in the background?
No, I don't.
Oh, good. It might not catch it then. Pretty sure that these channels use that little bit of music in the background to function as a copyright thing, because the music copyright system is so much better than the visual copyright system. So they write a little ditty, they copyright it, and they put it in all their videos so low you can barely hear it. We grab ice. Hold on, crispy treat. I want my ass grabbed. Like what? What are we talking about here?
Pull instead of push.
What a dumbass, dude.
White people. I swear.
That is just. Oh, that was funny.
Wow. Yeah, I saw this. I've actually got it on my shorts list, but we're doing that like probably Saturday.
Yeah.
What, Moose? Did the baby come over and you're scared now? What's up? My 120-pound great bull mastiff is terrified of my like 12-pound granddaughter. In his defense, she does want to ride him.
Off their rings when they're getting a manicure, because the chemicals they use can ruin the color. A smart thief took note of this and started going to salons and sneakily stealing engagement rings from customers. But well, if she was truly smart, she would have looked out for cameras.
Being charged with grand theft here. Authorities say the ring has been returned to the victim.
An instant regret moment for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Burglar happened when he got a little costume on. In Ohio, a man made the prosecutor's day when he accidentally dropped a gram of the illicit substance he was accused of.
Oh my God. Oh my God. For real?
Where's Flow State when you need him? Oh, shit. What did I just do?
I don't know.
Oh, am I still here? Cool.
Yep.
Are we sure?
Yep.
Yes? All right.
Yes.
Okay, the whole world just reset for a second there. We're still good though, right?
Salut, Austin, Texas.
Investing in the courtroom.
Where we at? Austin, Texas 21. Welcome in. Good to see you, bud. Yeah, it's not a push. It's a pull, which is what I keep telling her. But she keeps trying to get behind me.
Okay, it doesn't help that this seems to be one of the longest escalators in the world. But a criminal's cardio was put to the test by a police officer who knew it would be pointless to
Oh, really?
I just stood at the bottom, called somebody, and had them walk to the top.
Jason.
I mean, I would have hopped over the center and went up the other side. He just stood there.
The streamer.
That was fucking funny.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Hold up. Let me do this. Hopefully this won't ruin everything, but you know how it goes, right? Did it happen? Nope, it did not happen. I want to know how to get rid of hidden videos in my list.
When someone is on the brink
Damn
of
it,
committing a
restarted
crime
the whole
that
thing.
could jeopardize their freedom.
Oh well, we'll get there. Why didn't it come in? It's a hidden video. I can't even save that thing to a list. Nope, there it is.
Ready, set, go.
Black belt suspects.
When someone is on the brink of
well, I mean, where were we? Right there. That's it.
but sadly got banned. Maybe not caught in 4K, but 480p instead. But this man is using what's called a jammer to trick the slot machine that he inserted cash by interfering with the machine's electronic circuits.
And watch his screen. The screen is spinning like crazy, and the bill's not even in the machine. He's holding the jammer.
A Florida man may be misinterpreted the saying, thinking outside the box. He disguised himself as a box instead, while attempting to rob a
Do I need to say anything about this one?
No, that's great.
Are you interested on how what? This man, sure. Yeah, boo. I don't get it.
I don't know.
How what? I missed it.
phone repair shop in Miami.
Box, which doesn't appear to have any eye holes, fell off his head, revealing his face. Police had no
Revealing his ass.
him.
Not including major holidays, Halloween weekend is one of the days with the most DUI cases, meaning police are more alert on the road. A Hooters waitress coming from a Halloween party.
Bro, when I was plotting out, hold on, this is actually some Sasquatch lore here. When I was planning out my channel before I chose a Caucasian Sasquatch, I had originally thought about doing something like the Nameless comic. You remember the Nameless comic?
Yeah.
First of all, no one to this day knows who the Nameless comic was. It's thought that Steve, who was in fucking My Blue Heaven, Steven. Anyway, there's 4 different comics that were famous at that time period that seemed to be around every time the Nameless comic showed up. Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, cannot remember the other guy, and Dan Aykroyd. And it was believed that they were trading out the bag and playing the Nameless comic to prove that they weren't the Nameless comic, right? Steve Martin, yeah.
Party was stopped at 3:53 a.m. for stopping at a stoplight in the middle of the intersection. The officer ran her license and it came up that it was suspended. And her insurance was suspended as well. And to make things worse,
But I'm a professional.
I mean,
I swear to God. Shut up. You were cussing out. I got one of those, but I'd have to have another screen to access it.
Good signs of being under the influence.
Not my first night doing this. Where are y'all really? Because your eyes are bloodshot and glossy.
Yeah, but John Candy was never the Nameless comic because the Nameless comic was tall and thin. It could have been Steve Martin. It could have been Chevy Chase. It could have been, and he was a little bit famous for having done one bit that was virtually identical to a Chevy Chase bit, where he came out on the stage, fell over the stool, knocked down the mic, knocked the mic off the stand, picked up the stand, dropped the mic, picked up the mic, dropped the stand, picked up this mic and stand and dropped the stool, and then spilled his water on the mic and left. And if that's not Chevy Chase, I don't know who it is.
I'm just very tired.
What's up, Jess? Welcome in.
What's on her chest? Is that blood?
A test that showed she was clearly impatient.
You're muted. Man, you are on a roll,
I'm
dude.
on it,
Like
bro. I'm on
tonight
it.
is just
I got a little cough, and I'm muting more often than I usually do so I can clear my throat and not be on mic. And I'm forgetting when I go I mute and then forget that I'm muted because you are distracting me. It's your fault. I'm the victim. I'm the victim.
Welcome in, Jess. Welcome in, Blue Lives Matter.
My God, it's Blue Lives Matter. Jess, good to see all of y'all. Welcome in. Appreciate y'all coming by and seeing this madness.
Patient, and considering she had 5 license suspensions, the officer decided to book her for driving under the influence. The woman then revealed that she's from
I say, John Forte, I grabbed the mic and sway this way. Is that right?
Yeah.
Switzerland, and that getting a DUI could lead to her deportation from the U.S.
Wait, I promise. Sir, I'm from Switzerland. I can't have DUI, please. I don't want to get out of it. I don't want to get kicked out of the US.
I have a white female temperature.
I understand. I want to do dental, please, sir.
But you,
I literally stop.
you're not even supposed to be driving in the first place. You have 5 different suspensions on your license. You have an insurance suspension. And 3. So I'm not
I'll have somebody pick up me. Please.
So
You're past
this is
that point, man.
yeah, she's already in cuffs, right?
Yeah.
We're way past talking about this. You just shut up, sit down, wait patiently. You'll get up eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got to admit, though, I'd probably let her talk as much as she wanted, as long as she keeps breathing like she's breathing. Taking them big old deep breaths, girl. Keep on. You go with it. Good girl.
We're past that.
But I will not have anybody. Please don't charge me for DUI. I promise I will have somebody pick me up. Please, I'll leave my car here, like you said you would.
We can't leave a car here.
Please take the DUI off, please, sir. I promise I have somebody.
It's Halloween.
Pick me up.
It's out of my hands.
And when pleading with the
And you know what blondes do on Halloween, right? They dress up as slutty ... You can insert virtually anything behind that, and it's a Halloween costume. Slutty news anchor, slutty nurse, slutty cat. I mean, just go with it.
The officers didn't work, she tried offering the officers to take everything off.
Take everything off, please. Don't you please.
I don't want you to take everything off.
But well, she still got booked and charged. But maybe now
I might be the only one who does. Wait a second. Your license is suspended in 5 different ways. Why do you think you can talk your way out of this? Oh, y'all are savage. That nice young lady was just driving all of her drunk friends to a drinking party they were going to. Where is your heart?
Now she knows driving with 5 license suspensions and under the influence might not be a good idea. Okay, everyone in the courtroom should get an award for maintaining professionalism and holding their laughter. But when a man was ordered to a court hearing for his suspended license, he joined the Zoom meeting while driving.
I saw this one.
This guy. All right, so this is way worse than
I
you
mean,
probably.
how dumb can you be?
No. It's way worse. You remember his license had been suspended, right?
Right. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
then,
as dumb
no,
as the
no,
drug
hold
dealer
on.
dropping his.
It's way worse than that. He's a sovereign citizen. He never had a license. It wasn't revoked or suspended. When they didn't find it in the system, they listed that it must have been revoked or suspended. The judge tries to charge him with driving on a suspended license. Can't do that because it's neither revoked nor suspended. All they can do is charge him with driving without a license.
Right.
And that's a totally different batch of worms, right?
Right.
But they're trying to bring charges on him that can't be done.
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
All right. Score! We made it. Ollie, ollie, oxen free. You can't touch me. I'm not driving no more. Did I miss one or did I get them all?
What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
The main prosecutor requested that his bond be revoked, which the judge agreed to. The judge then notified the defendant that he had to turn himself in by the end of the day. Let's just hope he doesn't drive himself to the station.
This is a driving while license suspended.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Me and G, listen. I understand what you're saying. I happen to think that's a bit of a nefarious thought concept and might be the physical administration of that slippery slope fallacy. Be real careful messing around with girls with schoolgirl outfits. I don't care how old they look. You just be careful, bro. That's a real slippery slope.
And he was just driving. And he didn't have a license. I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked in this matter. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
TSA is supposed to protect us when traveling.
God was not with you, son. But the great Lady Justice was, and so was. I'm going to have to see this, Crispy. I don't believe you. Email me.
Crap. But what if the agents are the ones stealing? Surveillance footage released by Miami's attorney's office showed 2 agents working together to steal thousands.
But hold up. The fact that you had to ask someone to get a schoolgirl's outfit implies that perhaps you shouldn't be looking at girls in schoolgirl outfits, regardless of how young you were. I'm just saying, you be real careful. Sasquatch advice on that one.
Of dollars from passengers.
Williams walks away. Gonzalez then appears to take something out of the bin and put it in his pocket.
And well, the 2 of them were arrested along with a third accomplice not caught on the video. And as of 2024, charges were dropped against Elizabeth. And one of the agents was accepted into a state program where charges got dropped after 25 hours of community service.
That's it.
A woman whose package was stolen went to ask her neighbor if she had seen what
TSA,
happened.
man. They about got as much qualified immunity as cops. A lot of them screwballs are actually sworn in as deputies of whatever city they're in. So they are cops, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts. Yeah, I know a couple of them. I'm slash my tires.
It was then that the neighbor's daughter suggested she call Victoria's Secret to get her money back. However, the woman never disclosed where the package was from, revealing that her daughter had likely stolen it. With this confirmation, the woman decided to call the police.
And she said, okay. I said, well, I'm going to call the police. She goes, well, you can call Victoria's Secret. And I never once said where it was from. $400 worth of stuff.
Okay.
So.
With the cop having the information he needed, he headed towards the neighbor's house to find the mother already at the porch waiting. The officer asked her to bring her husband and daughter, who are residents at the house.
I'm giving you guys the opportunity, if you guys did take it, to just give it back. Because if you don't, I'm going to do a theft report, and all 3 of you are going to be listed as suspects. So what's going to happen, there's a Ring doorbell right over there. So I'm going to go knock on that door and figure out who came out and picked up that package. And whoever did that's going to get charged with a theft, okay? And that's $400 worth of stuff. So either we give it back now, nobody gets in trouble, or I figure out who stole it, and they're going to get charged. That's what we're doing.
Duh, that's what you're supposed to do.
I'm kind of surprised he came up with that all on his own.
I know, right?
That's how we're going to handle this?
If we find it and we know who took it, it will be returned.
That's not how we're handling this. We find out who took it, they're charged with theft. Okay? We're not doing this, oh, you got me, I'm on camera, I took it, I'm going to give it back now. They're going to be charged with theft. I will arrest them for theft. I'm not playing around. Okay?
I'm not playing
So
around.
give it back now, or I'm listing all 3 of you as suspects.
Well, there is a bit of
Do
a
my
split.
job. Do my job for me and tell me
Yes.
who did it.
As long as he doesn't charge them if they just return it. Although this is setting up to be a very bad neighbor situation. I don't like having guff with my neighbors. I generally quash that shit as fast as possible. Bad neighbors with bad mojo. As far as knee socks are concerned, under certain circumstances, yes, I'm a breast man myself, but I do like that booty. Nothing wrong with the booty, and there's more than breast that acts like a laser light to men.
What
Some
does
guys are,
knee socks have to do with the booty or breast?
because some people, I was just saying that. Some people are feet guys, some people are leg guys. I like a good thick thigh myself.
Driver's license. All three of them.
Hell to the no.
While the parents went inside to get their IDs, they apparently had a conversation with their daughter. She decided to return the package to the neighbor. What seemed like a resolution only made the situation worse, as the daughter returned the package with many items missing.
All right, thank you. She's gonna make sure that all the stuff is in here.
Yeah.
We have nothing to do with this. Handing it to him from inside her house. We have that you had it, and you knew who had it.
Missing about 5 things.
What's she missing?
I can ask her. They're all different itemized things, so I'll have to.
Tell me.
Well, I think you need to go ask.
She said that she has nothing else. You need to call Victoria's Secret on that one. And I believe her. Because I used to order from Victoria's Secret all the time, and the whole order did not come.
Do you believe her?
No, I do not.
I don't either. I'm not sure Victoria's Secret sells G-strings in that size.
Because she needs to check her down. He needs to check her down. I used to order Googles and he would get pissed off.
So that's what you think is most reasonable?
What's up, Sig? F357 Sig beats 9mm. Welcome
Despite
in, bud.
multiple
Good
items
to see you.
missing, the mother claims that her daughter Megan returned everything in the package, making the officer a little suspicious of her. So they asked her to bring Megan while
Does that
another
woman have
officer
a
is getting fed
forehead
up with the whole
tattoo?
situation.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give her one chance to get those other items. If not, we're hooking her up and bringing her in. I'm not playing these games.
She said that was all that was in there. Victoria said I missed 7 items myself.
All right, what's your name?
Megan's.
All right, Megan. You have one chance to get the stuff. You have 5 items still missing, or
Okay,
you want to
they're
chill with that?
missing the stuff. Man, what do I do? What about Victoria's Secret? I go to jail for a year. Package
You
haven't
took
missed
the package in the first place, dumb biatch.
Yeah. All right. So let me tell you why she's not bringing those 5 items out. They already stained.
They're on her or whatever.
Yeah. She's either currently wearing them or has worn them and can't bring them back because, it would be obvious.
Secret?
That's why you don't take in packages that don't belong to you.
I threw it down to her. And I looked at the name because I didn't look at your name. I really didn't. No, because Victoria's Secret's gonna miss it. I mean, I had 7 items.
That's fine.
Basically denied taking it.
They didn't even cooperate until you threatened to arrest them. Is that
Yep.
what it looked like?
Yeah,
What's up, C4? Welcome back.
I didn't want
Good
my
to see you.
husband going to jail for something I didn't.
Well, somebody's going to go to jail because you guys obviously aren't fessing up and giving all the items back.
And the one I'm giving all the items back. No, hang on.
We've got 5 more that are missing.
Okay, I'm telling you, Victoria's Secret is missing that, not me. She's got a daughter, and I have a new job.
That's nothing to do with this.
Yes, she does. I don't want her back to jail. I'll go to prison. Why do you understand?
So basically, you've been hooked up for something before, and if you get caught out, you're going to prison, not jail. What's up, 10-man magnet fishing? Welcome in. I appreciate you coming by. It's real nice to see you.
Upstairs and make sure.
Matthew the King, welcome in.
Stay right here.
Hey, Matthew.
I'm tired of saying stuff.
Megan, hey, stay out here.
Megan coming at the officers with a disrespectful tone and doubling down on her lies was probably the worst thing she could have done. With multiple opportunities given to her to do the right thing, the officers gave up and decided to detain her. At this point, the neighbor was given the option to press charges, to which she did. And well, no one can blame her since stealing from your own neighbors breaches the trust and sense of security within your immediate community. Just before the interrogation began, one of the detectives went to grab his notes, and the suspect...
Have you seen this one?
No.
So, the next Spider-Man movie, I want this man cast.
did what a totally not guilty person would do and jumped out of the window.
Oh my God. Was he on the first floor or second floor or what?
No. He's on the second or third floor. I think it's the second floor. Listen to what they say. I don't know. They might not have all of that in there. There's a little conversation that takes place in the real video.
Oh, no.
Say he was captured a couple hours afterwards and he still had his handcuffs off. At a 7-Eleven in Los Angeles, a man managed to get away with...
All right, this bothers.
Was captured a couple hours afterwards and he still had his handcuffs off. At a 7-Eleven...
You see this guy here?
Yeah, yeah.
Why do you walk in completely obviously yourself? I mean, he's wearing Hank's hat. He's wearing Hank's yellow fedora.
In Los Angeles, a man managed to get away with stealing $300 with an imaginary gun. Luckily, the LAPD posted the footage online and caught the man.
You can see his hand under his shirt and behind his back as he jumps over the counter and cleans it out himself. He got away with about $300, even though it's only...
Hold up. Did you see the guy steal the drinks?
No.
And behind his back...
Watch this guy right here. He's got a handful of stuff.
Yeah.
He's like...
He's like, they're busy.
Nothing to do with me, bro. Nothing at all. That's not me. I didn't do it. What's up, Gregory? Welcome in, bud. Hold up. No. You need a better producer.
His hand, it's still considered a robbery, and he's still facing serious charges.
You know your lawn is a mess when even the thief that's about to steal your mower cuts your grass before leaving.
He made off with his loot. He mowed his...
Now that is funny.
It gets better. Get this. So the peoples whose yard this is had bought the mower because their lawn guy was sucking at what they were doing. And so they got a mower to kind of fix up the little bit of stuff they wasn't doing right.
Yeah.
Before they got a chance to use the mower, this guy comes over, steals the mower, cuts his grass. He cuts the grass first, then steals the mower. A couple of days later, the cops find the mower. They return it to the owner. The owner asks who stole it. They're like, no, we're not quite sure. We're working on that. He's like, well, as soon as you find out, let me know. I want to hire him to do my lawn.
Right.
Because he did a better job than the guys he was paying.
Victim's grass, mow the front and backyards of the property. When cops arrived on scene, they say Hubbard ran from authorities, dragging the mower behind him.
When a customer at a jewelry store asked to look at a $16,000 ring under natural light, the store was happy to accept his request. Little did they know was that he was just going to walk away with it.
Did you see the look on her face?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Like,
no. I can't remember the name. There's a name for this type of a robbery. It's like a slacking grab, I think is what it's called. It's where you get them to remove whatever you're after from the protections so that you can just walk away with it. Right?
Right. I mean, I've seen it in movies, but never.
Yeah, it doesn't actually work in reality most of the time. Most people have enough sense not to do this.
The store was happy to accept his request. Little did they know was that he was just going to walk away with it. Thankfully, this security footage plus the one in the parking lot led to his arrest. At Atlanta's International Airport, a passenger spotted a lady wearing a Rolex watch valued at $7,500. Knowing she'll have to take it off to go through security, she purposely delayed grabbing her stuff, waiting for the agent to look the other way.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you see that look around she just did? Right here. All right. What you're going to see is this guy pick up the little thing. There's going to be a little skip in the camera. And then she's going to look around like the most guilty person in the world. When she does that, the security guard here looks at her, and I think this dude over here glances back at her too, because she looks guilty as hell. Never, ever do that if you're perpetrating. Right here. He saw that look around and just kind of shrugged it off. Hijacked the freaking.
A man flying on Spirit Airlines accidentally left his carry-on at the ticket counter and filed a lost and found report to no avail. So he took it a step further and filed an open records request and was given security footage of the airport, which showed Spirit workers opening his bag and throwing his stuff in the trash for no reason and pocketing the valuables.
Eventually moves over to a trash can. Is joined by coworkers. You can see her open one pill bottle and pour out the contents right into the can, all while her coworker appears to be taking cell phone video and laughing. The gate agent then throws the bag and the rest of its contents into the trash and casually walks away.
No one knows how this man managed to escape, but after being locked in a holding cell, a suspect had the brilliant idea of escaping, even after staring at the security cameras for a few seconds. He was even able to slip his left hand out of the handcuffs.
Notice his left hand is slipping through the handcuffs. He peeks his head out, wriggles his left wrist, pops open the door, and within 2 minutes casually lets himself out.
He was arrested a few hours later at his house and even asked his wife for a ride.
You went home.
Why would you go back home?
I mean, maybe one more reach around. I couldn't tell you. What's up, Jesse Miles? Good to see you, bud. Welcome to the show.
Wiggle, wiggle.
Appreciate you coming in. What'd you say? Wiggle, wiggle?
Wiggle, wiggle.
Does it jiggle? Do it jiggle? That's my question. Because I ain't interested if it don't jiggle.
Without telling her that he was a fugitive.
He didn't really explain too much with me. He didn't have handcuffs on him when me and my mom picked him up.
Even though technology now allows law enforcement to safely stop moving vehicles, there are times when criminals leave police officers with no other choice. In Jogava County, around 7 in the morning, a driver under the influence refused to stop, even after being chased for several miles. Thankfully, there were no injuries, but spikes had to be deployed. Okay, I'm not sure why this woman would call the cops and then refuse to talk to them, but when an officer responded to a case of what seemed to be domestic violence, he met the caller in front of one of the apartment units.
What's going on?
All right, fellas, smash or pass?
Pass.
I don't know, man. I imagine her weave smell like last week's laundry, but other than that, I might be able to get over it. She look a little jiggly.
What else does I want to say?
Oh, wow. Oh, look, it happened to Steve.
Okay.
What was that?
It happened to Steve. They TSA
Yeah. Oh,
stole his Leatherman.
stealing your Leatherman. Oh, that's just crooks. They suck. Oh my God, they suck so much. The thing is, they think they have like cop type powers. You know what I mean? And so they actually believe that little badge means something, and all it means is something at the freaking airport. Inside the airport, they are a god. Outside of the airport, well, you see, you got to make her mouth useful, right? You see, if she's talking too much, you're not right. Hashtag just saying that. That's groovy, Steve. That's pretty much how I built my channel, that and interviewing other channels and letting her run all my stuff wherever she's at. She's somewhere around here.
I didn't touch her. Didn't touch her. Nobody did. That's fine. Okay. Where's my next post? Okay, man. Just want to show you.
That's my crib. What you mean?
Okay.
After the man shut the door on the officer, the woman continued to be uncooperative. Then the former boyfriend came back outside, claiming the woman had hit him.
Okay. Hey, but
I never touched you. You hit me and I hit you back.
I never touched you.
Hold up. Wait. These words make no sense. These are self-exclusionary terms. I never touched you. You hit me, and I hit you back. Let's see what I can do with that, Steve. Yep. Let me do that. Stop it. I don't want to share it. Damn. That bud. This is the problem with utilizing two. Oh yeah, there. Different. Because I can't just be like, oh, open it in the window over there. I have to go in and actually send it where I want to use it. We'll get to that in a minute.
I got the proof. I was just sitting there.
Janai.
Oh, right. Talking about. I'm not no more. You started talking to me because you gave my key and I was gonna leave. That's not your shit, yo. I said, don't bitch you got me thinking about
Can you talk to us about anything?
The officer repeatedly asked the woman to stop yelling and to talk to him so he could help. However, as time passed and she showed no signs of calming down, he decided to put her in handcuffs and take her to the station. This is where things took a turn for the worse. The woman resisted arrest and attempted to hit the officer.
Did we just catch a felony?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Is that a year or 5 years? I can't remember. Great confessions.
Thankfully, no one was injured, but she continued to display aggressive behavior.
Hey, Jot.
Yeah.
You know what time it is?
Yep.
All right, so here's my question.
Okay.
Do you want to stay live and transition into something of a panel show on Vertical and see how that flies? Or would you rather end it here and me do something else later? What have you got planned? Do you have something to do? Do you need to do a thing?
I should probably
Titty in
do
that
a
baby's
thing.
mouth. Yeah. Go pop a titty in that baby's mouth. There you go. We'll do that. Here, do your thing. The thing you do sometimes when you're doing stuff, you know.
Sometimes. Well, it's that time. It's that 2-hour mark. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next week.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
What are the humans doing?